were moments that hit me, but it was just like, I really think we need to, we're just in a position, that's a reminder, if we want to tell our stories, because that wasn't our story. That was a story of African Americans, how they see Africa and their fantasy. We are just in a position where we've got to tell our stories, and we've got plenty of stories.
Now this is what I wanted to say. Now, a lot of people criticizing coming to America. I was saying, why not we look at, the Ghanaian movie industry, the Nigerian movie industry, and say, Afrobeats has gone far in the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
You're listening to Adeshokwe Live, the Afrobeats Podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another edition of Adeshokwe Live, the official Afrobeats podcast, where we break down the hottest stories in the game and, of course, share some thoughts on our opinions on the stories as well. As you know, I'm always joined in the studio to break these stories down. But before we introduce my superstar guest, I would also like to say, shout outs to everybody for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. We appreciate the support. Make sure you subscribe across all platforms. That's YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get the podcast. And if you're in the UK, you can also catch us on Yanga TV every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and a repeat on Mondays at 7 p.m. That's Sky 186 and Freeview 171. Now, joining me in the studio to break down the headlines this week is an accomplished comedian, a broadcaster, an MC, a host, I just say an award-winning broadcaster and comedian. My brother all the way from Congo via London, Eddie Kai.
You know what? No one introduces me better than you, bro.
Because they're not fans.
You're on fire.
Listen, they're not fans. That's one of the reasons why we have to tell our own stories.
I feel you on that, man. Thanks for having me, bro. Look, they've refused us for like a year and a half now to be back on our special stage. So if we have to, this will do. If we have to take it by force, we'll take it by force. Yeah, for sure, man. Exciting times.
Yeah, so some of the stories that we'll be looking at today will be coming to America, of course, splitting opinions. The Wits protests in South Africa, Nigerian singer Barry J being arrested in Ghana, alongside I think it was due to the death of his label CEO. And we'll be looking at Piers Morgan as he quits ITV's GMB. That's a very, very interesting story. But we're kicking off in Zamunda, or shall I say in America, where the highly anticipated sequel to Coming to America was released this past week. Now, the original, made famous by Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, James Earl Jones, etc., finally got a sequel after 30 years. Coming to America features a host of new characters played by the likes of Wesley Snipes, Tracy Morgan, Michael Blackson, Nomzama Mbatha, and Teyana Taylor, to name a few, as they saw the return to the States by Eddie Murphy's character Akeem in search of his lost son. Now, the movie currently playing on Amazon after reportedly sold to the platform for over $100 million, became the #1 movie in the United States of America and possibly the world on the weekend of its release. Now, since its release, the movie has come under fire, shall we say, for what is being called reinforced stereotypes of Africans and Africa, as well as Black Americans. Now, let's get to it. Coming to America, my brother, I've had the opportunity to see the movie. Yep. Have you?
I was one of the special ones who got invited to the virtual premiere.
Okay.
And because it was in America, I had to stay up till 2:30 in the morning. Upload my picture, saw myself on the virtual red carpet. Shop I enjoy my life. That's the truth. It was a moment. It was a great moment. It was 2 in the morning. I'm watching my diet. Couldn't go for the sweet popcorn, so I just watched it with water. But
talk to me.
One thing we have to realize, the original was 1988. Yep. And as a child, when you watch that, because we didn't understand our positioning and maybe even at the time our value and what our role was in teaching our African American brothers and sisters what Africa is really about, we took it in. We watched it. We thought it was funny. Yep. When you watch back, there was a lot of digs in there. If you watch it again as an adult, you go, hey, wait a minute.
What's going on?
What's happening?
King but Joffrey Jaffa.
Come on.
That name itself was a dig.
You're afraid Joffrey Jaffa. I would have tried to say Jollof. I don't know. But the thing is, you're a fan of Eddie Murphy. So, and that's Eddie Murphy at his height.
Absolutely.
He's doing his thing. So, moving forward, 30, bro.
30 years. 30 years after.
30 years later, a lot has changed. We're a lot more educated. Now, at this very moment, right now, I'll just take the opportunity to pay reference to my brother Chinedu Okeke.
Yep.
Who's
the CEO, the head of Universal Nigeria.
Yeah. That's right. And we went at it. You know, I called him after he watched it. Me and him were going at each other. We had each other on headlock because he had a few pointers. My angle was, it's been reinforced, just like they've said it. We've reinforced the stereotypes of Africa, man. You know, these, why are we still showing these elephants
walking on the streets?
On the streets. But I mean, back garden, I guess. Fair enough. Why does he have to get chased by a lion to qualify as the son? All these little things, you know, the accents and stuff like that. Cool. And he said, but some people in Africa actually live like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you go into parts of Kenya,
right?
You know, the Maasai warriors,
their
resorts,
they live like this.
That.
And he said, part two, yeah, you've had someone like Davido performing at the wedding. I saw that then. I was like, but why didn't they put him at the funeral? Because I think the funeral was headline act.
I think it was because of the assurance, the record.
Bro, yeah, that's okay. But he's got a catalogue of songs. Let's not leave it to assurance. Yeah?
Okay.
He has a catalogue of songs. What I was saying is that Salt and Pepper at our Uncle the King's funeral, come on. The King is dying, he calls for Salt and Pepper.
They had it in Vogue as well.
Yeah,
I think
they had SWV in Vogue, I think Salt and Pepper, Gladys. That's all well, and I guess it's from, you got to look at a reality and fantasy at the same time. So they wanted to showcase, you know, the true African-American culture, but within the African settings. But my thing was, once again, it's all about education. I'm not gonna lie to you. At first, when I watched, I came off like, man, these things are not right.
Because I was surprised. I was telling people. I spoke to my sister Ricky, which we both share.
Yeah, me and Ricky went back and forth.
We went back and forth as well. And I said to Ricky, we have to understand that if this was 20, 30, if this was even 15 years ago, we would never have gotten maybe a Davido performing, or perhaps a Michael Blackson in there, maybe a Rotimi in there, you know, a Nomsa. This is a South African woman, now the face of the movie. They wouldn't have cast all these guys in there.
Which I like, but let me throw something your way, bro. Why does that have to be the justification of why we should accept certain things? This is the bit that really frustrates me about being African. That I keep saying, acceptance is null and void. We don't need to be accepted. We are who we are. We are where we're supposed to be.
Facts.
We're more than enough, right? So it can't be in exchange. It just has to be a matter of fact. Like, you can't tell me, oh no, Eddie, we've got a role for you on Coming to America. You're going to be eating jollof rice and some fufu on the side. You don't eat jollof and fufu. Doesn't matter, mate. You've got the role. At least you're in there. So once I'm not eating jollof rice and fufu, people come in there and say, what are you doing, bro? You made yourself look like... And my justification is, but 15 years ago, you would never have seen me on there eating jollof rice and fufu. So I think I understand the fantasy aspect of it. I understand that... like my friend Chin was saying, some people actually act as they go to the West and pretend to be these princes back home.
Absolutely.
You know me, I'm a big prince back home.
Absolutely.
And I've had to fight a lion.
Shout outs to a lot of Ades. A lot of Ades here in the UK. We put that card on the table.
My guy. So some people, some people have gone abroad and created this image that these guys. But it is 2021. There was enough information. There's enough information going around for certain things to happen. But look. A man's hustle is a man's hustle.
Absolutely.
Each to their own. I heard it was filmed at Rick Ross's house.
Yeah.
I think.
That's why they got him in
there.
Listen,
Rick Ross said, I can imagine Rick Ross say, yo, I know your budget. My house, because his house is crazy. It's Evander Holyfield's former house. So
it's like 20-acre land or something crazy.
120 rooms. So he must have said, you don't have the budget for this. Chuck me in there.
Put me in there.
Put me in there. Give me an African accent. He chose the worst accent. You know the accent where all the eyes are popping out, the pancreas is about to explode. You're a general. You're a general. When you watch our brother Damson Idris, when he does that Californian accent, it's smooth with it.
Smooth.
It's nice. He's switching, people are confused.
Yeah.
Rick Ross lost weight in 5 seconds. Now I know the secret is losing of weight. Like I say, I've been doing diet. It was because he was filming that film. The accent.
But now the criticism has been that, the stereotypes were reinforced. It's not good for Africa. You know, the jokes were dry. I actually enjoyed the jokes. There was a joke that kind of hit me hard. The way when they said, oh, here comes Ebola and famine.
Yo, that's what I'm saying
one
to
touched
you.
me hard.
Listen,
that one there,
it was still, there were moments that were funny. See me as a comic. See, you're now you're stirring.
That one hit me.
You know what it is, yeah? As a comedian, sometimes I think we overanalyze as well. When you're watching it, you're watching it from a different eye. But I think generally, I'm a fan of comedy. I'm a fan of funny films. So I just didn't find myself laughing like belly laughs. There were moments that hit me, but it was just like, I really think we need to, we're just in a position, that's a reminder, if we want to tell our stories. Because that wasn't our story. That was a story of African Americans, how they see Africa and their fantasy. Just like Black Panther.
Absolutely.
We didn't complain about Black Panther because it had technology involved. There was a win at the end. So we are just in a position where we've got to tell our stories, and we've got plenty of stories.
Now, this is what I wanted to say. Now, a lot of people criticizing coming to America. I was saying, why not we look at, the Ghanaian movie industry, the Nigerian movie industry, and say, Afrobeats has gone far in the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
How can we uplift these local African movie industries where they're making movies that are probably side by side of the Davidos and the Burna Boys and all of these other guys? What are we doing wrong?
Sacrifice.
Or we're not doing?
Sacrifice. You have to understand the people who do Nollywood, Gollywood, even that Congolese movie industry, Ugandan. It's a thing of where people have to eat. So what tends to happen is I'm going to churn out these movies because my money, I need to make money quick. So you end up having quality. 20 movies a week, which then the quality pays the price, right? So what needs to happen is there needs to be some form of sacrifice where there's some people from outside. I always think for us to be diasporans and be able to make it to the West, it wasn't to come and chill,
Absolutely.
And go Sainsbury's every day, go to Aldi, I'm going to Dubai, then they spend your time on Twitter cancelling people.
Yeah.
This is not why our parents came here, bro. We came here to get educated, understand what's missing, look at the holes that are missing and go and fill them. You see what I'm saying to you? And I think that's what needs to happen from our side. I'm not saying it's just about diasporans, doing what they need to do. It's a combination of, because let's not get it twisted. We've got some of the biggest, most amazing geniuses back home. A Nigerian tech company has just been valued at $1 billion, I believe, right?
Yes,
so it's like, we're looking at all this. We've got to combine as diasporans, go home with all the experience we have in making movies, because remember, some of these great movies that we're watching have African producers, African DPs, African cameraman, African casting. So it's same as Netflix. But let's not also get it twisted. When you watch levels have been going up. Let's give it to the AYs of this world. Who have been doing
those
some
incredible AYs that are doing amazing things. Even basketball, even the film ones in Nigeria.
And my friend Pearl Tusi, who's the first the first lead on an African series for Netflix, and Queen Sono. Oh, she's amazing. Amazing talent. I had to host the African Music Awards in Lagos with her. She stood next to me. My suit looked better because she stood next to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't doubt it, bro. I got upgraded. But my point is that if you watch Queen Sono, you're like, okay, do you know what? This is quality. And it was written by a South African writer. Amazing. So we have the things in place. I think it's less complaining, more action. I said it this week. I said I'm really proud, of the young generation of diasporans who are now connecting to the continent and actually feeling comfortable, bro. Yes. They actually feel like they're at home. When they go there, they extend the stay. Yep. They explore beyond the capital cities. Do you know what I mean? They go to the different countries, which is not their own, country of origin. Yep. So all these things now means that it's a step in the right direction. So if we complain about it, it means it's time for us to do something about it.
Simple.
Yeah, man.
My brother. Yeah, well, we head over to Ghana, where Nigerian singer Barry J was arrested by the police officers for an alleged involvement in his former label boss's death. Now, the story goes like this. Barry J had shared a video of himself bleeding where he claimed his CEO physically assaulted him whilst recording. Later, it was revealed via social media that his boss had taken his own life by jumping off of a building after battling depression for quite some time. Now, later on, another video was seen where Barry J was staring at the camera and his label boss can be heard in the background saying he loved him regardless. Now, this was followed by reports that there was foul play in his death, leading to Barry J's subsequent arrest and continuous investigation in the matter. He's still in Ghana. Okay. He's been arrested. The story... all sorts of stories have come out. People alleging that, because Barry J had recorded a video of himself bleeding initially, saying that his CEO assaulted him, and that probably invited some of his own goons to do something that ultimately led to the man's death. However, all our allegations, he still claims that he had nothing to do with it and that the man took his own life after suffering from depression. That story is a little bit shifty. What's up, my people? My name is Audiomack Podcast, aka Shopsidu, aka the Energy God, and I'm officially on Fanbase. Now, Fanbase is a partner of Audiomack Podcast, the official Afrobeats podcast. So you can hit me up on there if you have any questions about getting into the music industry, about the Afrobeats culture, and I'll specifically speak to you. Like I said, I'm giving free advice on Fanbase at the moment, so make sure you join Fanbase and hit me up for more information.
I mean, bro, the problem is, it's okay to try and do mathematics, put 2 and 2 together, and you've seen blood, and then there's death that follows that, and you assume okay, this person must have done
something
that.
to do.
But there's so much involved. When you're talking about depression, we have learned,
absolutely.
And I know you're going to go into the Meghan Markles situation, but we have learned very quickly that you must take every situation seriously. When they talk about mental health, it's a big thing. Because one of the issues we have in the African communities, I mean, growing up in Congo, when we talk about mental health, they'll say witchcraft. Mental health is next to witchcraft, bro. If you see a man walking in the middle, if you see someone walking in the middle of the street, they've gone Kolo, you go, oh no, someone from the family, someone from the village. It's always the people because they've got nothing better to do. But so my point is that we have to take these things very, very serious. And so when you're talking about depression, then you look into, has anyone started speaking to family members to see if there was a build up, any issues that was occurring? I'm not taking the blame away from my brother
anybody.
Here.
But you need to investigate all the sides of the story.
Because it's a sensitive subject, my guy.
Absolutely.
One thing is, he's under the authorities. He's being questioned. I'm sure I would trust the Ghanaian authority. They'll do the investigation. And
this other man has lost his life. He just got buried yesterday without family, without anybody. There was just a video where they put him in the ground and just about 4 people there.
So here's the thing, right? This goes to show you that there's been a lot of violent talk that's been creeping up in our industry.
That's what exactly I wanted to lead you to. That the Afrobeats industry, all of a sudden, we're starting to get this energy where it's looking like an American rap scene. But what are your thoughts about this kind of violent talk around the industry and what we're seeing on social media and people laying hands on people, threatening to... I think, how is this going to affect us?
Look, and we can't push it down to just one particular set of people, generalize and say, you know what, the Afrobeat industry is becoming more like the American. Because ego and fame, they shouldn't be together, bro. They should never be together. Like, they should never combine. Because what starts to happen is, we as fans have our favorites. And we want to see our favorite grow. But what happens is, we now start pitting up our favorites against each other. When we start putting them against each other, they have to react. And ego means that a person who has a certain upbringing or comes from a certain world that differs to the other person will react differently. If you're Davido, how you've grown up, and then you've got to a situation where you're surrounded by the people you're surrounded by, if they're whispering sweet nothings to your ear, then you might react a certain way. If you're a burner and you have certain code of conduct, that you see that you come up in a different way, you now feel like you have to deal with it in a certain way. And listen, you got friends who are committed to you. You have friends who are committed to you, so they are always going to react. In the name of what? Security,
absolutely.
I guess,
protecting our own guy, protecting his interests.
But ultimately, these are human beings. This is we saw that situation. We saw that another one with Obafemi Martins.
And CDQ, and Bernie's name came up again. I guess, and I think do you remember that situation Don Jazzy and Olamide? Right? At the awards. At the Headies Awards years ago.
And then, you had that moment, and then I think the government, let's just call it the government.
Big boss.
The government.
Pulled them together within hours.
Calm
down.
Relax. Hey. Because they see you as ambassadors. You're representing the country. Relax. I think we are not enough to have this conversation because we're all colleagues. We're all colleagues in the same industry.
So we need people above.
We're all colleagues in the same industry. Because me, I'll come and say, my guy Berner, calm down, and he'll come and say, let's compare each other's accounts. I'll now have to relax. Do you know what I'm saying to you?
I get you, brother.
Hey,
I get you, bro.
You go to Wizkid, hey, old man.
What's going on?
Old man.
Relax.
You know me as well, baby. It's all right. No, but my point is, all jokes aside, there just needs to be a conversation that comes from above. Because remember, we're all ambassadors. We're all representing a territory. We're all representing a certain culture. And we know that Afrobeats as an industry, as music, just African music in general, we hardly sing about beef.
It's love and fun.
It's a lot of fun. And even when there's beef, the words in that is very subtle, you know? They use a lot of metaphors and stuff, but generally, it's a lot of fun. So we have to show that in the way we act as well. Somebody needs to have a conversation to the guys that should be like, because look, they're all our brothers, man.
Absolutely, and there's a lot to lose as well.
But, Shopsy, let's keep it 100. If we really look at it in this situation in Ghana, it's people's livelihoods. A lot of people have died over situations like this because there's money involved. It's not just in music. It's been, I was watching a podcast the other day and Mike Tyson was talking about when he nearly finished Don King.
Yeah. $200 million bucks.
He had Don King running around the car. Don King got into the car, drove off, left him on the highway. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
This because we don't know what transpired between the two of them. Management, and I'm not saying that justifies why anything should happen. I'm saying that
these are the things that lead to
because it's livelihoods like this. People are coming from certain lifestyles and they become artists.
I've got a question for you.
Yes, boss.
You've been at the top of the game for a while now.
Yeah.
One of the things that I always try to remind people when I speak about Eddie Caddy is, yes, we got to the O2 as an Afrobeats community for artists in 2018, but we got there with Eddie Caddy headlining at the O2 almost 10 years earlier.
Yes, sir.
So you had reached the pinnacle of superstardom that some of our so-called superstars are actually just getting to right now. How do you manage the ego? How did you kind of control that? Being thrust to those heights quite early on when there was nobody in your scene that was at that level.
I can't speak for anybody else, but I always think that this is a job. And I never like to, I don't want to downplay it like it's not a big part of my life. It is, of course it is. It's defined me, it's carried my family name globally, but ultimately it's a job, bro. And if you're able to separate the two, your life will be quite easy because actually when I come off stage, I'll speak to my family the way I speak to my family. I'll speak to my friends the normal way I speak to my friends, and my friends still have access to me where they can tell me to behave. Because actually a lot of my friends are not in the industry like that. So, and it's like I can't give them anything that they can't give me. Just does that make sense? So it's the yes people don't really exist in my life like that.
Facts.
If I'm not happy about something, I express myself. As it is my life, I'm allowed to walk away. Just like anyone working in a normal industry can walk away. But one thing about it is, fame cannot be your friend though. Bro, because it's not that people like you. People like the idea of you. So then that's why when I walk into the club where I see, I remember during those times, I found myself at Oxford Circus Station. Big man. I came up the train and it was about a group of 20 kids. They said, "What, Eddie Caddy? Pass a little dance." Now. They didn't ask me how things are. They asked me how's the situation in Congo. All these things matter to me. They're part of it. How are you? How's life? What do you think of what's happening in the world? They said, pass a dance. There was 20 of them. Average age 18. I did shopping. It was a decision where Jesus had to be involved. God, do I dance and save myself? Or do I not dance and not save myself? Do you understand that?
I can't.
I had to now, the inner Congolism is like, boys,
come on, respect yourself.
Yeah, know who you are. So now, come on, man. It was like I was playing tennis. Oh my God, bro. Oh, come on, man. Just a little dance, man. This is now where the fan started to retract. It became
beef.
Yeah. So now Ego said to me, I could just say, but there's 20 of them first of all. And here's what's crazy, right? The memory that they'll have of me will be, we met this guy.
And he was
So I said, listen, boys, who's got Snapchat here? I'm going to give it to you once and I'm leaving. Wait, take it. Fans left. My ego said to me, do you know what? And I'm not saying that, every time someone said to bust a dance. No,
But you
calculated. Yeah. But my ego said to me, don't do it. But a part of me just said, you know what? I walked up and I could tell that story now. Because it's like, it's just what it is. But it's about humility. Those kids loved it. After they did it, they probably go, right, sorry, I think I did it. Cool. And it's not every time you're going to do that. My point is, though, you got to separate the two. All the noise, everything that happens, I'll finish shows or go back to my parents' house. My parents will be up the stairs asking me, wow, that was amazing. How did you feel today, Robert? Cool. Then I'll be talking to my friends and my siblings. It's normal. When I'll go back to my country and I'm wearing my shorts and my t-shirts and my family's looking at me like, so this is you? I say, yeah, it's hot. It's hot. So my thing is, it's about being able to understand it is a job. One day, they're not going to say to you in the middle of Oxford Street, bust a little dance. Do you know what I'm saying to you? One day you're gonna walk straight past them. You straight past as you are like Casper the Friendly Ghost.
They don't even recognize.
They don't even recognize you. So my thing is understanding that it's gonna and it's happened. I've had those more like I think for me, thank God, and you know better than anyone that I've been able to take advantage of the different aspects of who I am. Yep. Do you know what I mean? And I wouldn't even say reinvent. I would just say tap into the different aspects of being an African.
Yep.
Do you understand? In terms of comedy, telling my story of who I am as an African and being able to break down stereotypes, going to Afrobeats and exercising the love for my culture. You know what I mean? Being a contributor on certain platforms just because there are conversations that need to be told because a lot of people are blindsided.
Well. That's a side
exactly. So I think because of that, there's so much to being African. If we exercise it, you're able to just constantly. But even during that times, you don't get recognized as much. And I don't even mean physically. Sometimes people just stop talking about you. What happened to Eddie? He doesn't do comedy no more. Oh, he fell off. But that's okay because you have to know your journey. So because you know your journey, you never react to almost becoming.
The little baits.
Yeah, so it's about, once again, to answer your question, bro, it's about separating the two worlds, man, and you'll be okay.
I hope a lot of people do that, man. Well, from Ghana, we head over to East Africa, Kenya to be exact, where comedian Eric Omonde has been reportedly arrested for his ongoing show, Wife Material. Now, the comedian is in the second series of the controversial reality show, Wife Material, that has been heavily criticized by the chairman of the Kenyan Film Board Association or something like that, who says Eric's content doesn't meet the standards. And he also, in the past, had called Eric's studio a place where young girls were being taught how to have sex with the comedian. Well, it's been reported that Eric is under arrest after clips of a scene of the reality show was seen where two ladies were fighting in the club and the police had to break the scuffle, ensuring the safety of everyone. Now, the chairman of the film board has promised that Eric will face the full wrath of the law for his illegal television show. Now, a little background on this story is Eric Omonde obviously is one of the biggest comedians, popular comedians in Africa. And over the last 5 or 6 months, he has faced incredible criticism for his social media reality series where he said he was looking for a wife. Initially, the first series, people didn't know it was a reality show and people really bought into it.
The fact that he's
Exactly, like they were really voting for people that they felt had the qualities to be his wife. However, from the first time he started the show, the criticisms have come in because he was kissing on screen and he was kissing a variety of women. They didn't like that. They didn't like that. So now, once the second series was announced, before then his studio was closed down. He had that issue. And then this has come up again. Being a comedian, first of all, what are your thoughts about this story about your brother Eric? And what are your thoughts?
First of all, he's one of the best comics we've got coming out of the continent.
Facts.
But none like, the guy is serious. So he's done a lot, I think, for not just East Africa, but the continent as a whole. Great talent. I remember seeing the story about his studio. He's being attacked because he was expanding. I think he's a very forward-thinking and, just expansive type of comedian. And he's always trying to do something new. Yeah. He has no fear. Bro. This guy will wear diapers and do... he has no...
Yeah, he's done all sorts of
things. He has no area, has no fear. So Eric will stand in the middle of Manhattan, dress up as a Maasai and do nonsense.
Yeah.
Now, so that's the kind of person. So he's already loud and whatever, right? Yeah. Cool. And I think he is a national treasure. And I think that's one of the reasons why
the most followed Kenyan on social media.
So this is probably one of the reasons why this has become the thing. Because
Yes.
you have to understand, in Africa, we're very reserved. Like, there's a thing of where in Africa it's almost like nobody touches anybody sexually, but where did we all come from? Is that, do they make us in a factory? Are we made in are we made in the ground? Discovered like the gold they discovered in Congo? It's randomly by villagers. So we know somehow, somewhere,
Something is happening.
some people are playing table tennis somewhere. So I think because we have to understand, Gen Z, and he's not part of the Gen Z, he's older, but he's playing in that field.
In that pool.
Yeah, but in that, so they are brave. They talk about things that people, are holding back and talking about. They demonstrate things in a different way. And I guess he was just trying to move the goalpost a little bit too fast.
Not too far.
Too fast. Because eventually it's going to get to that state. It is going to get to that state. Some places
Social
already.
media already.
Some places are already open to that. Now, here's the thing. When he first did the reality TV show and I watched it, I was actually confused. I thought
it was real.
Yeah, a part of me.
Yeah.
Was that, is Eric trying to find?
Yeah.
Because he eventually got one at the end.
Yeah.
It was like it looked like there was a
looked
wedding
like
or
a
something.
real thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said, wow. So I forgot. Then I saw a clip, and I'll never forget. This was maybe 5 days ago. I saw a clip of women. I know that airport in Nairobi.
Yeah,
I know that airport.
Arriving.
I know that airport. I know arrival. I've been in Nairobi a few times. It was like the Tanzanian delegation, Ugandan delegation said, "What's happening? What's happening? This is no longer blind date because I can see." Then the next minute, the Ugandan kid, and there was like 9, 10 women, maybe more.
Crazy.
I said, "Oh, this is part 2." So I didn't. Then I saw little clips of obviously them in a house, and I thought, "Oh, this is very brave." I just got that feeling because I'm like, I don't know, this will never be allowed in Congo. What? What? Then the clip that I saw next was the fight in the club. So it's all kind of fragmented.
Yeah.
The fight in the club. So the next time I heard of it was when you told me the story.
Yeah. What is it? He lost a lot of sponsorship. We reported that
because
a couple of weeks ago. He lost loads of sponsorship. This comedy, my argument was this. Comedy is probably one of the bravest
Of course.
professions in the world.
Of course.
You guys, through the lenses of your own eyes, speak on reality, but find ways to present it to the public
for sure.
in such a way that we can consume it.
For sure.
It's an art that also relies heavily on freedom of speech.
Yes. And this is very good, Shopsy. And this is why some people have had to leave their countries to excel and be able to talk about certain things. I have friends who are in certain parts of the continent who literally will tell you, bro, my comedy club gets shut down every week because I'm talking about certain things. I'm either talking about a leader, I'm talking about a certain subject matter. They said this cannot stand in our country. But then there's a line that you mentioned, Shopsy, which was that there was something to do with young girls. I don't want to...
Yeah, because the film board basically looked at the situation where, because there were scenes where, I think Eric was probably speaking to the women about how he loves, how he wants
the women or young...
because they're young.
What's young?
As far as the chairman is concerned,
they are
all
young.
the women on that program
Young
are
girls.
young
He's
girls.
calling them young girls as far as he's concerned.
Yeah.
But we have to know, because I think it's very important that people don't
Clarity.
think, oh
It
yeah,
has to be,
that
they're
he was
just
grooming
ladies. No.
underage
No.
girls. Because when you read it like that, you think, hey, Eric, even me, I said, I knew him back in the day.
I think they're all of age.
So that's where it gets, because they're looking at it that way, they're going to treat her accordingly. Because, if the senior members of government are looking at it and saying, listen, these are young girls. Because as in our culture, if you're 30, you are young.
You're young. Bro, you're still living at home.
30, you started walking. Uncle, I'm 30. But I just remember yesterday you was crawling. You see what I'm saying to you? So because they're looking at it that way, they're going to treat accordingly. Another thing is power. Let's keep it 100. When a man gets too much power, they have to be able to bring you down. The issue with Eric, the issue with Eric's studio was a big issue because it was like you haven't got the where it was in a residential area, and they said he hasn't got the right license to be able to do that. Yeah. But apparently he did. It was just he was being hated on.
And there were other stations on that same area.
So I think this was about him getting too much power, but. Once again, you have to know your country.
Read the room.
I give it to my brother Eric for pushing the goalpost. I think he has hit the post. It will be resolved. I think he's got it wasn't, I don't think he was harmful to anybody.
Yep.
Unfortunate with the fight that happened in the club. I guess the girl, they're fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting for love and attention.
For love. They've seen the house. They've seen the lifestyle.
They've seen the money. My brother
She
drives
said,
a Range Rover.
I'm not going back to Dar es Salaam.
Come on, he calls himself the president of African comedy.
I am not going back to Dar es Salaam. The girl said, there's no way I'm going back to Kampala. No way. That long drive from Entebbe to Kampala, I'm not going back. I'm staying here. So she's fighting for her rights. Good luck to them.
Now, this one is definitely going to crack you up. Over to Nigeria, where this week a fisherman caught the headlines after catching what looked like a swordfish in an area in Rivers State. Now, the proud fisherman was seen taking pictures with the dead fish before sharing the find with the other villagers who must have enjoyed an incredible feast that night.
Yeah.
Well, after the images went viral, it was later confirmed that the fish they caught was the extremely rare blue marlin fish, which goes for, listen to this, between $2 million and $3 million on the open market. In Naira, that will be around 1.5 billion Naira. Sadly, by the time the world got to know about the catch and the price of the unique fish, the villagers had completely gulped the entire fish and could only dream of what such a payday would have meant to the fisherman and his community.
Yes.
My brother, how do we address this one?
Let me take my time with this one. I'm going to take my time with this. There's a few things I want to address. Because you know one thing with me and you. I don't let you get away with anything. Even the way you wrote,
I wrote that.
You wrote that.
That's me.
You're a crew man. Because you see what it is here. Let's start. First of all, I'm going to start with these two words.
Yeah.
So what? So what is 2.5 million, 10 million, 3.5? That's the first. We'll come back to put that aside. Secondly, stop this conversion that you people do.
To 1.5 billion.
Stop this conversion that you people do that, because if he saw that, he will become Elon Musk.
Bro,
he will fly. Listen to me.
He was about to be huge.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Don't do it. Let's stop miseducating our people.
Okay,
do you know the amount of things that we discover on the continent that they are aware of, but we never get a penny from it?
Come on, talk to me, brother.
Adeshope, the other day, was you know one of the people that sent me that clip? Oh, look what's going on in Congo. They've discovered gold in the villages of Congo. I had 25 million people. All my friends. Anyone, in any way they can get through to me, they go through to me. DM, Snapchat, email, all my old MySpace account. People, my top friends, they were all sending me this video. And they would just lay it on my phone. So I was like, so what is this? There's some people who were stupid enough to elaborate on the video, said, so Ed, do you know where this village is? Yeah, I do. Yeah, let's go on Google Map. Let me get my Oyster card so we can go to this village. My auntie happens to live there.
And go and dig the ground.
By the time we fill in our forms to justify why we're leaving London, yeah, first of all, and then we land in Congo to now get a domestic flight to where that place may be. By the time we now have to quarantine and we go and find this gold, listen, let me tell you something. Everything that we see as images, we should never believe. So, going back to once again, the things was valued after they gulped it. I'm glad my people got to eat.
Hunger.
Because somebody else would have eaten. Are you mad? Do you think, I come from the Democratic Republic of Congo. If all those things that we have in our country, that's natural, that fish will come out again in our country, right? Just like the way gold comes out of my country, uranium, all these things. If that was the case, is it only today they found out the price of gold? So how come our people are not eating? If we know that the gold is expensive, we know the price. If we know that rubber is expensive, if we know that diamond is expensive, why are my people not eating? So it's now that you're going to tell me they've discovered this fish. Oh, mate, sorry. Oh, you've eaten the fish. I'd have given you 1.5 million. What's that in your language? 25 billion Naira? Oh, sorry, son. It's a bit late. Come back next week. Shut up.
Damn.
If they found that fish, if Jamie had found that fish, you think it'll make news? Do you know how many times they found that fish? Yeah. It has been moving. Our brother, I'm glad he ate it. I'm glad he ate it. Yo, that's why I said to you, so what? Let's stop this. Africa, God will keep replenishing. You see that fish?
So that fish is still there?
That fish has cousins. That fish has cousins, has neighbors. That fish has adopted stepfathers. They're all underneath there. More is, they'll find out more. And I want to test them.
You know, some people will be sleeping at the river.
They're sleeping, bro. And I want to test them. I want them to go and find the next fish that comes out. Let them not eat it. and then let's see if they'll get the 1.5 million. We'll sit here for 30 years and see if that one. But let's stop this nonsense. Making a brother who enjoyed his food now regret. After eating such a lovely meal, you're now keep making him depressed. Leave my people alone, man. Leave my people alone.
Did you see the picture I took by the fish when I saw that? I said,
bro, how many times have you eaten tilapia? How many times do you care what fish it is? You enjoy it, put pepper on top of it, you enjoy it. 1.5 million. If that was the case, we would have never left Africa. It's making me angry. In fact.
Let's move on. Yeah. Well, over to the United Kingdom, where this week's undeniable headline news was the bombshell interview Meghan Markle gave the media tycoon Oprah Winfrey. In the interview, both Harry and Meghan shared their thoughts on the reasons for leaving behind England and their titles for the safety of their family and, more importantly, their mental health too. Now, in addition to revelations of fallouts with Harry's dad and sister-in-law, the headline was made by the revelation that someone in the royal household made a reference to Harry and Meghan's young son's skin complexion and basically being of black heritage. Well, once that hit the fan, the knives were out for Meghan and Harry, and popular broadcaster Piers Morgan didn't take to the interview and revelations lightly and went from clashing with his TV colleague Alex Beresford to being slammed by commentator Shola Shogbamimu and ultimately walking out on air and finally out of the TV show GMB after he was asked to apologize for his statement saying he didn't believe Meghan Markle felt suicidal. The broadcaster remained defiant, saying his thoughts were basically exercising his right to freedom of speech, and we all should be allowed that. This conversation has rumbled and rumbled and rumbled. Two major things that came out of there.
Yes, boss.
Three. The first one is the fact that a member of the royal household made reference to Harry's son's skin complexion. Mm-hmm. A surprise to you?
Oh, shock horror. I lost sleep. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The leaders of the Commonwealth would dare talk about skin color. How? Wow. I mean, I often wondered how we got colonized in the first place. I often wondered how we got to be called the Commonwealth when the wealth is not common. I often wondered if skin had anything to do with it. How come Netherlands was not colonized? I often wondered, my friend, how come Belgium was not colonized? How come Finland was not? How come Sweden was not colonized? Oh, what a coincidence. But, Lesotho, Botswana. I often wonder, no, bro, no. I'm not shocked. And I came for you on your page.
No, I'll tell you why. Because one of the reasons you came was because Harry's relationship with his father.
Yeah.
The breakdown of that relationship and the way he spoke about his father. As a father myself, there was something that I felt there. Yeah. That the one person that you want to approve of everything you do seems to be the one person that doesn't want to pick up his calls. Okay. However, you weren't happy about sympathizing with Harry.
No, it's not about sympathizing with Harry or not sympathizing with Harry. I was very clear in my comment. I said, these are elite people's problems.
Let's talk about it.
These are elite people's issues. Do you understand? We've got so many issues that we need to deal with that have not been taken care of. We'll not park that aside and worry about Harry and his dad. Hey, bro, come on now. Because remember, in that same interview, what did he say? He said, thank God for my mother's inheritance. The money mommy left me.
I would have been starving.
Bro, I started drinking popcorn. I never drank popcorn. I was so confused. I drank popcorn and ate my water.
Because the money mommy left was...
I said, you mean what? This is not my issue. I can't relate. You just kicked me out of this conversation.
Facts.
My thing is this, right? We need to stop... And I don't want to... If I say... When I say... No. Me, I don't hold back. But I want to pick my words very carefully so it hits home, so I convey my message. Because when I say we need to stop, it's like I'm calling up for something that is just not going to stop. But I think we have to start having more conversations about what racism is and how it affects us. Have you realized what's come out of these conversations is once again is just memes and laughter. That's how... Because as a people, we're so traumatized. We deal with trauma. We don't even want to admit that it's trauma that we deal with. We deal with the trauma of racism and discrimination and all the history of being lied to that slavery is where our history starts and believing the fact and not knowing that we come from kings and queens and doing our research. Because of that trauma And when I say as a people, I don't just mean the Africans who were born in the motherland, African Americans, those are in Brazil, all over, right? Because of that trauma, we always tend to use laughter, put laughter at the forefront to deal with it, because that's how we deal with it. We laugh, everything becomes a meme. You know, Archie, when he's 21, is going to be dancing a zonto. Yeah. You know, and we laugh. And then what happens is the younger generation are also picking that up, because all for them, they're not even asking about education. They don't want to learn why is this such an issue. So when you saw with Sharon Osbourne recently, I don't know, with Sharon Underwood and whatever show that they do, and there was a line in there with that situation when she felt that she was being accused of being racist because she backed Piers Morgan, and what Cheryl was saying to you is saying, listen, if you are not there holding your friend accountable, you are as bad as your friend. Sharon said, what is it that he said I was racist? Educate me. And I thought, what? Listen, once again, you see, we're not even educating ourselves. And we're being asked to educate. We don't even know why we turn these things into memes. Because that's a way of us lessening the pain that we're looked down upon. But actually, I think now is the time to start talking about solutions. What are we doing about the fact that everything that is mentioned in the realms of being black is put down? Everything that's mentioned in the realms of being black is victimization. We're looked as lesser, but we come from a continent of how many people, bro? Yeah?
1 billion, bro.
Thank you very much.
Where the world's riches is from.
You alone, your country, there's over 200,000. My country, there's over 86,000. 86 million, sorry.
That's crazy.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So when we think about that, we have to understand what our worth is. We're not minorities in any shape or form. We are not minorities, bro.
And we need to get that mindset.
Because here's the thing. I would be lying to you as Eddie, bro, if I sat here and answered your question based on what you read. It has nothing to do with me, bro. That's the truth. What it has got to do with me in that situation is about understanding who we are as a people. How do we deal with racism? Which is why I said earlier, I'm very happy about how young diasporans are going back home and really connecting, because we need to empower ourselves back home in order to feel value here. This is not the first time that black people, Africans, have come to Europe. They've been coming from before. They were part of the general society across Europe, in Portugal and in Spain, and going back and forth. So let not people lie to us to say that, you know, we should feel privileged to be in this country. I'm grateful for growing up in the UK, where I've got access to things that my cousins and my relatives, everyone back home, I've not had. But that doesn't mean I should feel a sense
special.
Of, nah. You know, there's this thing where you have to understand, we also have added. We have added to this culture. And if they don't want us, we do our thing and we just keep building until the generation and the next generation understand their value. Now, as a woman, Meghan, going for what she goes for. I don't want to speak for women. No woman should have to go through that. No woman should have to go through
the mental health.
Yeah, because of your race already, we put that aside. But just because of maybe you're not wanted in a certain situation because you fell in love, and a lot of people would dispute and say she didn't fall in love. She knew what she was doing. She got herself involved in these situations. I might be one of those people actually that goes, she knew what she was getting herself into, but that doesn't mean that she
deserved the treatment.
Because me, I've been watching The Crown.
But The Crown is fictional, bro.
Listen to me, my bro. You say it's fictional. How many biopics have you watched in your life? You've watched many biopics. So every time you finish watching a biopic, like a Biggie Smalls, like a Muhammad Ali, like a Michael Jackson, you say fictional. Because when you cross-check, what happens? You go, you find okay, this thing happened. This happened. What happens in biopics is this, especially when you watch something like The Crown. Of course, I don't watch and go, everything is true.
But guess what? Even Harry said that The Crown is closer.
He said it with his mouth.
Yeah, to his reality than other things.
So my point is this, what they do is they take the principles, especially when you do something in the royal family, my guy, they take the principles of what it means to be a monarch and how history has shown that these principles have been applied, and they put it in there. We were never there when the Queen was speaking to Margaret Thatcher. We were never there when the Queen said to Prince Charles, you got to marry Diana because you're going to be king one day. You need a squeaky clean image. We was never there in that room. But we understand the principles that's been applied as being part of what they call the firm and the monarchy. So when you watch it, if you watch it now, and you compare it to that interview, you go, oh.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the writers of The Crown, they'll be loving this.
My guy, there's a scene.
They'll be loving it.
There's a scene in The Crown. I don't want to ruin it for people that haven't watched it, but there's a scene in The Crown. Prince Philip, Charles's dad, during the time where Diana is about to really crack, she's had enough. She's calling for everyone's help. They've gone to a family gathering. I think it was up in Scotland somewhere. and she reached out to the Queen. The Queen said, I'm too busy to speak to you right now. I've got to feed the dogs. Yeah, this is now, we're not saying that's what the Queen said at the time.
Yeah.
Once again, we applied the principles
Yep.
of, she's like, yo, you signed up for this.
Yes. Yeah.
This is beneath me.
Yeah.
Cool. She goes into the room. She's sad. The dad walks in. Philip walks in. What's up? You're not being yourself. What's going on? You know, I'm sick and tired of this family. If I have to take matters into my own hand and go and speak out to the press, he said, you will not do that. He said, listen, we're all outsiders. That's what he said. He said, we are all outsiders. You're not the only one that's an outsider.
Yeah.
Everybody, her sister, this is in reference to the Queen, her sister's an outsider. Her children, me, her husband, they married me. They couldn't even take my surname. We're all outsiders because everything is around this one person who's sovereign, this one woman, because it's all about her and no emotion shall be applied. So my guy, when we look at that situation and you sign up to go into certain families,
some things will never change.
Yes, no.
What about Piers Morgan's behavior and his defiant stance of saying, you know, freedom of speech, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he's got a right to express himself. Yo, listen to me. He has a right to express himself, but we don't have to agree with it.
Facts.
Number one. Number two, clearly he told us he took her out on a date.
Yeah.
Let me at the shopping. I didn't know. Shopsy. Yo, Shopsy.
So
listen.
he must have been in love.
Wait there. Shopsy, listen, I can't make it tonight. Do you know who I'm going to?
Yeah.
My guy, Shopsy. I'll call you back. Shopsy, you don't come back. Meghan Markles, yeah, from Suits. What, Eddie, you mad? Are you mad? I said, bro, trust me, I'll keep you posted. Where you not going? Little drink. You know how we do. I even take a snap, put it in the group chat. I'm with her. The man never gone mad. Shopsy's like, Eddie told me about this earlier. You, how's it going? How's it going? What, you back at yours? No. She took a cab. I put her in a cab because she had to go to a quick party. She got her friends. You know, it's just the first. Okay, cool. So, big man, how far for this guy? What's going on? Eddie, what's happening? Shops, I'll call you back, man. Shops, I'll call you back. You're bothering me. Oh, I'm bothering you. Yesterday I wasn't bothering you. Today I'm bothering you. No problem. Wait, so no, I'm just, we're going to meet up again. You know, yeah, we're meeting up tonight. Bro, did you meet? Because this is Meghan Markle. We're all gas for you, my guy. Yeah. We're all there rooting for you. Yo, what's happening, bro? I'll call you back. You call her. Yo, Meghan, so what are you saying to me? I've been messaging you all day. That pain. The man are now saying, yo, what's happening? Oh, next minute in the group chat, bang. Hey, Raw, is that not Meghan? I thought you wasn't to tonight, but she's at dinner with Harry. Hey, whoa. Hey, someone please call 911. Yeah.
His ego
Bro,
was in tatters.
Now, the guy didn't tell the story that way. Yeah. He's told the story in a very mainstream way. Hey, you know, went for dinner.
I put her in a cab.
And then I find out Prince Harry, that's the party that she went to. Yo, he was hurt.
He was hurt.
In front of the whole world, he told his story, and then we watched it happen as she blocked him.
On all platforms.
Because he should be at the wedding. He should be at he should be the one next to them when they're taking this picture. He should be the guy. It didn't work out that way. Harry probably said, not him.
Not him, though.
Definitely not him. You know Harry has it in him. Harry said, listen.
Harry's from the ends. Yeah. Listen, my man.
Harry, this is what Harry did. You know how we did you not see him whining in Jamaica, wherever that was?
When he was in Jamaica.
Yeah, he did it well.
Yeah, like, rude boy. Chill.
Yeah, but it's pays. We had a drink. It's a nice guy.
Boom. Nah.
He walked out. So they blocked him. He's hurt. So what starts to happen is this. When you have to constantly justify, because your emotions have taken over, you have to constantly justify certain things. It starts to hurt, and then everybody's now understanding what your stance is. Gigs has come out and said, big man, she didn't want you. Blocked.
Alan Sugar's come out to say, good boy, blocked. They don't want you.
The guy was blocking like Dike Memutombo, bruv. That serves you back up, blocking everybody. So his ego was hurt. We are watching a real human being's ego crumble. I think, we shouldn't devalue ourselves as to constantly pick out everything that's racist.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
I think we've got more value than that because we're not
because
toys.
we might be chasing
our emotions.
Too much.
Our emotions are not people's toys, Shopsy. So I think every little thing you look up his mortgage. Don't give him that power. Don't give him that power. Say this guy is racist. He is not going to stop racism. Number one, nothing we say to him is going to change the way he looks at black people, whatever. If he does that way, right? Nothing's going to do that. What we got to look at is ourselves again. Like we shouldn't just laugh at the situation and be like, oh yeah, you know, memes and look at Piers, he lost his job, whatever. Look at the back and forth he went with Dr. Shola, yeah?
Yeah.
Boom.
Man.
Okay.
She
gave it to him.
She was
but
like, you're disgusting.
Yeah.
Piers.
But once again, I love it, but I hate seeing my sisters having to stress like that. Our mothers and our aunties and our sisters having to stress like that on TV for people that will never change for them. The fight is so much bigger. They shouldn't be going out there alone. They shouldn't, bro. They shouldn't have to be constantly shouting. This woman has shouted for us for a long time,
she's going everywhere, from BBC to CNN.
Yeah, he got sacked off the back of that. Cool. Yeah. But him getting sacked, he'll find a job somewhere. This is his country. It's not like go sacked and go sent back to Nigeria.
The day after that, the day after he walked away from that job, because there's a new news channel launching in June.
There you go.
It's called GB News.
There you go.
And GB News is being rumored to be what Fox News is in America, which is right-wing madness. And one of the bosses of GB News was on this morning, 24 hours ago, saying confidently we already had a conversation with him.
But also...
And we want him to come.
Shopsy, I read...
That's his guy.
I'm not sure if it was on your page, maybe you saw it, but it was someone else's. I saw a little comment, and someone said, apparently he already handed in his notice 3 months ago.
He didn't renew his contract.
Yeah.
So he already feel...
3 months ago. So this was just his period of exit.
Yeah.
So imagine you got 3 months to leave. He said, okay, I'm leaving anyway.
And guess what? He said when he joined, obviously this morning, 6 years ago, the aim was to defeat the BBC Breakfast in their morning ratings.
And he did.
And he did on the final week.
Wow.
So the final week of him being on GMB was when GMB eventually topped Breakfast.
And that what goes to show, so he tapped into our weakness.
Yeah,
so he tapped into
we know we react. We gave him that
This is what I'm saying to you. We're not toys, bro. This racism thing is a thing that we're giving so much power. And I'm not saying we should ignore it, but I'm saying we focus more on empowering ourselves. I'm telling you, bro. I'm not gonna raise my child, my daughter right now, who's a 3-year-old, to be telling her, look out for when someone says this and come and tell daddy. No. I tell her, you are the best. No one is better than you.
Facts.
Everything any other person can do, you can do.
Facts.
So when they come at you at this angle, you let them know, oh, no. I am good at this. There's nothing. Oh, no. I got my grandparents back in Congo too.
Facts.
Oh, no. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, these conversations are real. Like, people need to also see, because this whole, why don't you go back to your country? Not a bad idea sometimes. Every now and then, let's go back to our country.
Let's go back home.
Go back home, go to the farm.
Don't
go
think
back
that
home
is
and go
something
see
derogatory.
No.
Nah. Go back home. I'd love to go to Ghana.
But listen, all I'm saying is, they're holding one of your own there, you want to go. All I'm saying is, that let's just remember that we have different substances to us. We're people who are of substance, bro. And we need to just stop looking for approval everywhere. Stop looking for this acceptance everywhere. I've got nothing against, people who are not black or white Caucasian, because I think everyone's an individual. Generally, we've seen history how it's played out. Some people have been miseducated in terms of where we sit in society, and it's just the way people have been brought up. But that shouldn't take away from the fact that we need to still empower ourselves. We need to know ourselves, not our history. Do you know what I mean? And once we know that, conversation like this should become second or third priority. Or maybe not even priority at all. Because racism is never going to stop, because people are always going to see themselves as... Listen, there's people in households that see themselves as better than others. Back home on the continent, there's classism, colorism. There's all these things. There's tribalism. So these things have existed, that this tribe sees themselves better. So as human beings and ego as well, that's already one thing. But if we come together, then at some point we empower our children, and in the future we won't have people like Dr. Shola having to go crazy and mad because she knows that this is frustrating. And this one guy who's looking at saying, calm down. You're so aggressive. Those silly little things they try to me. Hey, listen, you can call a black woman aggressive. That's okay. They're passionate. They know what they're talking about. Don't play with. When a black woman talks, she knows what she's saying. Just because it hits you, that's when you start saying.
Oh man, she's aggressive.
But this is how they speak passionately. You're happy when she starts. Hey, look at you. And then you have put on weight. You're looking wonderful. Look at your beard. You're looking. The moment she does, you're a fool. Oh, now it's aggression. The same tone, the same eyes, the same passion. Now it's aggression because you don't like what you're hearing. If she came on that show and said, Piers, I agree with you. stand your ground. Forget those people. Peers would have said, I like you. Yeah. Let's go for a drink. I'll put you in the cab.
Nah, man, she'll block him off. Well, over to South Africa, where news broke that South African actress and star of Coming to America, the movie, Nonzamo Mbatha, revealed her brand partnership with Puma. The star announced that she had collaborated with Puma on their Shandu collection. The one-of-a-kind collection is an ode to Nomzamo's Zulu heritage, the Shandu tribe, which he hails from in, I think it's KwaZulu-Natal. Speaking on the collection, the star highlighted how this is Puma's first collaboration with a young black African woman. Deserves a round of applause for that. I want women to feel empowered and sexy. This collection is a defining moment of my career. When you put these pieces on, wear them with pride, because for the first time, Puma, as a global sports brand, has collaborated with a young black woman from Africa to create a collection, said Nonzamo. The star also took to social media to announce the apparel, saying, making history. Who knew a girl from KwaMashu will be the first, she wrote. South African queen.
First of all,
first of all.
No, go.
No, I wanted to say first African woman to partner with a brand like Puma and collect her check, basically.
Beautiful thing, man. First, she was one of the positives of the film.
Of the movie.
Before I had the opportunity to actually interview her.
Wow.
BET red carpet. So when I was
that was a few years ago.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And it was she was just stunning. The dress she was wearing, she was like she just dropped from space. She's like Elon Musk dropped her off in one of his
you know the South African vibes, bro.
I said, look at this Tesla girl. She look like a Tesla.
Shiny.
She look like a Tesla. Nobody needs to drive her. She can drive herself. My guy, she was driving me, man. But she's stunning, and I just like the way she carried herself in the film.
In the movie,
I've followed her work as well, her humanitarian work.
Yes, she's an ambassador for I think it's UNICEF or something like that.
UNHCR as well. So the Refugee Department of the United Nations, and she just you could tell she's got a beautiful soul about it, and very traditional, right?
Yep.
So these are the things I'm talking about.
Facts.
When we value ourselves, these are the things we need to focus on, because we are human beings first. As human beings, regardless of being black or being white or being, our culture is as important as any other culture. And when you recognize that and you put yourself as forth and represent that, these are the kind of results you get. Once again, I'm not even saying that because you need an approval from Puma or whatever, but that's collaboration. From any brand, whether it's global, whether it's local, it's a beautiful thing. More of these to come, bro.
Facts.
South Africa's been breaking grounds for a long time because I think they have more access to the global market, right?
Yeah.
But
structure.
This is a calling into that the continent is so vast. There's so many great things to do, to collaborate with. People go to Congo, the deepest river in the world. Let's do something with that, Puma. If you're not talking about culture. As well. I like the fact that they've tapped into that, because Puma has been known to be collaborating with a lot of African teams.
Yes.
They really support, the African market. Exactly.
Huge with,
exactly.
That's amazing.
So I think this thing here is a great way to kind of show that the people that we've taken hope away from, like in Africa, the people that we've said, no, don't eat that fish, wait for me to give you 1.5 million. You don't eat, you starve. Don't worry, I'll transfer the 1.5 million in your account. Don't worry, the government wants to, it'll be in your account because you found it, right? Those people are the ones that we've taken hope away from, but this brings back massive hope because it's enough. When I go back to Congo, like everybody else, people are enjoying life. One side, there's people that are suffering on one side, but there's people who still have access, have still got stories to tell, and geniuses that are out there, and talented people that are able to represent global brands just like any other people we've been exposed to.
Facts.
So this is a beautiful story.
Beautiful one.
Well done to her.
Staying in South Africa, where this past week saw riots in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, as students took to the streets to protest against rules that barred students owing fees from registering. Now, the demonstrations got deadly when an onlooker sadly lost his life to gunshots where rubber bullets hit the man repeatedly and he passed away from his injuries. Now, rapper Cassper Nyovest has called on the president Ramaphosa to intervene after clashes after clashes and the scenes on Wednesday turned fatal as Wiz students attempted to stage a protest against financial exclusion of some students with historical debt. So basically, some students that failed to pay their, maybe their school fees in the past. Now, Netcare 911 spokesperson Sean Herbst said the man identified on Thursday by the Independent Police Investigation Directorate said he was a civilian who was struck twice as he left the building and died at the scene. Commenting on the death, Caspar Nyoves expressed his sadness and added that the situation needed intervention from the president. Now, he said on Twitter, this is sad. This man must be arrested and an example needs to be made. It can't be business as usual. What was the reason for this innocent man to be killed so brutally? Caspar asked. Now, tagging Ramaphosa's official Twitter account. However, once he tweeted, fans started saying he only spoke out because his rival, AKA, had spoken up earlier, to which Caspar replied angrily, saying speaking up for youth's rights had nothing to do with his rival's tweets, but more to do with the sad situation. It must be said that AKA, on the other hand, was getting slammed as well as followers criticized him for publicly supporting the ANC party and not speaking up. Obviously, it's a sad situation in South Africa. Hopefully, they resolve these matters where, young men and women at the universities, whether they can afford it or not, still want to register, carry on their education to become leaders of tomorrow. We must find a way to ensure that people have access to education with or without money, especially on the continent where there's so much knowledge being shared. Secondly, it's a sad situation where an onlooker loses their life, again at the hands of the police forces. The images that we saw there just makes me think, if the police were that tough on students, how come they couldn't quell the xenophobic problems that we saw in South Africa years ago? Do you understand?
Instructions, my bro. Instructions. It's and you should keep that face. That face should be the logo of we need to do better.
I'm telling you.
Because I think first of all, to Caspar, AKA, look, they've spoken, right?
Yep.
They spoke. So let's give it that. I think sometimes he's only speaking because he spoke.
He spoke. He used his platform.
Those words that you've use that energy to also speak.
Facts.
So we can disagree with each other, we can argue, we can have personal vendetta or personal views, but as we're doing that, let's represent the family. Like, we can argue indoors, but outside, let's march together. And I think that's one of the things where, we're lacking. Secondly, empowering. There's this tradition that we have of power just means that tough uncle who is always right. Doesn't matter, you as the child, even if you don't know, you'll always be wrong, regardless of your potential, regardless of your information, regardless of what it is. We're not investing in the future. Like this, we're living in the future now of the past.
Facts.
Do you understand?
That's deep.
Yeah, so our past, what we didn't invest in is showing up now. Because, you're raising adults who are wanting to leave the country, escape, take their talent elsewhere. And then other adults who are crippled and they can't pass anything on to their children, where education should be the bare minimum that we should be given. Because like as our people, naturally we're born with value. Naturally, without education, we're already smart. We are already smart. So it's like my grandfather wasn't educated when he left the village at the age of 15. Taught himself maths. Became a pretty good entrepreneur. Once the Belgians had left after colonialism, he became a
businessman.
Making
money.
He learned. He taught, self-taught. And there's many of those stories.
Facts.
So that is without the extra information that we've got to apply to them to now equip them to survive in the world. But because we don't think about that, all we think about is short term, about how can my family benefit for this next 8 years that I'm in power.
Yep.
We don't understand that we're also affecting our future. You're affecting your future, children, your children's children. So like I said, if we start thinking about those situations now, things like this in South Africa will be happening. When you're talking about xenophobia, it also comes down to education again. And that's why I said, Chopsy, earlier, when we focus on racism and those things, we don't understand that as much as we're focusing on that, and it's important to make sure that those things don't affect us, that people don't look down on us, we also have to invest in that self. Because if we're doing that, when we start to invest in ourselves, what tends to happen is we get to a stage where as adults, as older people, we understand each other's values. So xenophobia doesn't become a thing. People don't look at why would you come from Nigeria, come to my country, and you guys are you just understand that I'm so happy my brother's making it because we need more of this. It's a representation of who I am. But what happens is we get a crab in the barrel, crab in the bucket.
Like, what's
vibe.
this?
How come it's you? How comes it's you? But no, empower you so you can empower me.
Facts.
That's the issue that we have, and that's going across the continent. This story here is one story that's made it.
Yeah.
But the idea of having our brothers who are police also beating on us
Citizens
because they're in a position of power, that quick power that you've been starved of because everybody's fighting for that power. Once you get it, you want to show that I've crossed over. I'm in a better position than you. Look at me, I'm shining.
Almost like a slave master type of energy.
We inherit that. But if we focus on empowerment, these things won't happen, man.
Simple. Well, over to the USA where a video went viral showing a woman walking in on her boyfriend entertaining another lady in her own flat. Now, the woman recording the video apparently walked in on her boyfriend in bed, or shall I say on the floor, with another woman in an apartment he lived in with her. And it has to be said that she owned the flat.
You can tell.
Now, in the clip, the man can be seen gobsmacked with nothing to say whilst his guest got up, got dressed, and also took aim at the young man, saying he put her life at risk by bringing her to another woman's house. It also appeared that the man never told the other lady he had a girlfriend. My brother,
Yes, Papa.
you saw this video.
I did for you.
Where do we pick these bones? Is it the fact that the brother was so brave enough that he invited another lady to his girlfriend's apartment?
What is my own? What is your own? Let me tell you something. Shopsy. I watched this thing because you sent it to me. The guy turned into Charlie Chaplin. Speechless. Bro. Speechless. Because at that very moment in time, he realized
His
I
life
have rent
was-
to pay. No, I have rent.
He's
to pay.
homeless.
Bro, because you see, it's the woman, her calmness at first.
Yeah.
She laughed. Do you know how ridiculous it is to get caught cheating and they're laughing at you? It means you're not even a cheater. You're
dumb.
cheating on yourself.
Yeah.
They laughed at you. She said, in my house, my bed. Do you know the story he told that girl to get her to that house? Damn. And then during the time when they're in the house, I converted this side, I wanted a theme wall. I wanted a theme wall, so I have plans to. In fact, was that the time where I'm expecting delivery from Amazon? Yeah. And then so where's the bed? Where's the bed? Because here's the thing, and I need answers from the woman too. Is this the current bed that you guys
on the
use?
floor?
Or did he not use
The bedroom.
the room?
Yeah.
No.
What was it?
What happened?
Speak. I think your mic
So,
Oh, this is how you have been sitting, please, I beg you.
what has happened is
Yeah.
the lady in question that owns the flat,
Yeah.
she had moved to a new property. So she was in the process of moving stuff out to the
Thank you
new property.
so much.
So he just
So
quickly.
she had kicked him out of the new property. He went to go and carry a woman to
The
the old property.
So wait, so she had kicked him. See, that information is coming.
Yeah.
So they were technically not together.
Already, she kicked him out of the new property.
So she had
and
she-
caught him in the old property,
property. So-
with a girl on the floor.
So what that was a dissolved transition for my media.
That's why she couldn't even be angry anymore. She was like,
Oh, so what's happened is he said, okay, so you've kicked me out. Let me go and reminisce. Let me go and rebound in the old property. You see, these are the info because people made it look like they lived together. She went Tesco.
She went to work.
Yeah, she
and
went to
my
work.
man just
and
quickly pulled something and tried to.
That was. Do you know how they have revenge porn?
Yeah.
What do we call this one?
Revenge catch. It's not because she caught him in the eye.
But look,
But did you see that other lady? The way the other
No,
lady
no.
got up and said,
That one is the actress.
you're playing. Yeah, big time.
You're foul
Big
with
time.
that.
I think
Yeah.
she knew who he was. She knew who he was.
but they still left together.
They left.
Did they live together?
Of course they did. Let me tell you something. She knew who it was and then the woman was like, "Listen, you're lucky you caught me in a good mood.
Because I could have attacked you.
beaten you up. I would have beaten you up. Did you? There was a.
I was scared for her.
I remember seeing a clip. Listen, I remember seeing a clip of, I think it was in the middle of Manhattan, somewhere in Times Square.
Yeah.
A woman catches a guy with another woman. She says to him, "Let me call my brothers." He said, no. There's no need for that.
Are you for real?
So you know how it gets down.
Are you for real?
Yeah, you know how it gets down. Let me call my brothers. She said, no. He said, all right. I'm not going to call my brothers, but take off those boots that I bought you. Take the trousers off. Take the t-shirt off.
And he took it off.
Come on. Take the belt off that I bought you.
Gosh.
Took it all off. What do you mean, man? This is like, my thing is, I never understand these things, you know. The thing is, you decided to take the risk. Risk comes with
consequences.
Thank you. You got caught in the old house. You know, so you know, it was rebound. The woman, maybe she already moved in a new guy in the new house already. So we don't even know how everybody moved on.
There was one video I saw one time, was so funny. This guy, he had just been released from prison. And he came to his old missus' place.
Don't finish the story. No, but don't finish the story.
He walked into his old girl's place, and she already had a new man. And he just jumped on the bed. He's like, I'm an alpha male, man. Get out of this place. And the guy said, we already have a son. He said, you and your kid, get out. This is my girl. And the girl couldn't.
Yeah, but he's delusional. How long was he inside for I'm an alpha male? We don't even do that anymore. That's what the guy said. We don't do that.
I'm an alpha male, man.
This is WWF. We now watch UFC, my guy. We now deal with Israel Adesanya. We don't do Randy Savage. We don't do Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. Those days are gone, my guy. We do Israel Adesanya. We calm down. You've been in prison for how long? You come and say, "Bah,
I'm an alpha male.
So
this is my
Samia should be waiting. She should have been waiting.
And he was like, you're lucky I'm giving you a pass. Now take your child and get the hell out of here.
And then what you gonna do when they not live with the child? You're not going to convince a woman. She's gonna say, "You're so romantic."
Scared.
Oh, she'll be. This is that, bro. Let's not get into this scary woman thing. Let's not get into.
But before we round up, we just have like one or two topics before we finish. You know, last time I was here with a guest of mine, there was a direct assault on the Nigerian man. Where they picked us apart. They claimed we were liars. They said, we had no truth in us. We consistently were philanderers. It was ridiculous. And I stand to bash that. I think it's absolute trash. However, how's it going for Congolese men?
I know we're okay. We're okay. Thank you for asking about that. Thank you for asking about. Thank you for checking on us during this pandemic.
You know, because obviously, Congolese men are notorious for
being waste man.
Do you understand? Your waist has been ridiculous and popular for a while.
Yes.
And some people have insinuated that the reason the waist has been that flexible is due to, actions that probably cannot be spoken on national television.
How did we get here? For this to is this Eric Omondi's situation? With this Eric Omondi's situation, we're in Great Britain. We're in great freedom of speech.
So Congolese men are not under any
what?
Like nobody has pointed anything.
Yeah, they have. But let me tell you something about life.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're my older. But let me tell you something about life. My life.
Talk to me.
You see, the thing is, when people start saying, "Oh, look at," a Nigerian woman said, "Look at this Nigerian guy." Let me tell you one thing I've learned. I will go out with a Nigerian girl. We'll be together for 10 years. The 11th year she'll marry a Nigerian man.
So she's still coming back.
No, she's coming back.
Even though she thinks that we're
domestic abuse is domestic abuse. Listen, has your mother, when you was growing up, did she never say your breath stinks inside the house? Go brush your teeth. When you're out in public.
That's my son.
Yeah. Now the thing about it is this. Yeah, they will have those domestics. Because when she say Nigerian men, they talk it together. It's love. It's frustration.
They want us to be better.
We want you to be better because if they didn't care, they'll be enjoying the bog. They'll be enjoying the waste. So when I hear people talk about, this Congolese men are this, especially if it's coming from a Congolese girl, I say that's cool. You speak about your experience. Yeah, your experience with Congolese men. Then I ask you, how many Congolese men have you been with? Hey, you have been busy, yeah? Because to generalize like that, you're really looking at this is not Russian roulette anymore. Because you're playing Congolese roulette. So which means that you have tested and sampled all type, tall, short, wide, broke, money, current, to now be able to come with a judge. Because that's what analytics is. We all went to university.
Like that.
So my point is, when you're criticizing, you also have to understand for every Congolese man that you'll say is bad, there's some fantastic ones. There's some amazing ones. Get on with it. If not, go to Uzbekistan.
And go pick your man from there.
Go to Greenland. It is cold there. You don't like heat.
Easy.
Go to the cold.
Since we're on the Congolese topic, is it possible to tell the Afrobeats, Afropop story without a mention of Congo?
Impossible. How? The late DJ Arafat said it. He said you'll be a fool, ignorant, to say that even Coupé de Calais, Ivorian music, was not influenced by Congolese music. Awilo Longomba. We all know where that music came from, that beat. He took it out of Congo and he became an ambassador of Congolese music. You know? And he wasn't the biggest star that came off the country. You know? Then you now, when you're listening to what you guys now, everybody's doing, you know, Zanku, and they're doing all these movements that you guys are seeing, you know? Like Francophone music, Congolese music is the base. Don't let people lie to you. And I think when people do their research, once again, you know, it's like when we're talking about slavery, and I don't want to use this as an example before they call me Kanye West. But what I'm saying is that when we look at black history and we go, black history only started with slavery, we are cheating ourselves on real history.
People haven't gone beyond that.
So when we go, oh yeah, you know, Nigerian music, Ghanaian music, Afrobeats, yeah, Wizkid and Davido, amazingly talented guys.
Yeah.
But then when you dig deeper, you have to say, who influenced them? Who influenced those that influenced them? What were those people doing back in the days? When you do your research and start looking at people like Franco, Papa Wemba, you know, these are real artists. You know, Madilu System. These are real artists. Before you even get to the Kofi Olomide and the Fali Ipupa, the eventual. So, like Congolese music, you have to understand. In a Congolese song, Congolese song gives you a chance in life. What do I mean by that? A 13-minute song. People say, you guys, your songs are so long. 13 minutes. But what do you want? You ever want the music to stop? Who has started music and wanted it to stop? Which party have you gone to? They started playing a banging track at a wedding and they stopped at the 3 minutes and you're happy with the DJ. Oh, what are you doing? Everybody continue. So we don't even allow for that. We start slow. So we build it up. It's a story. Hey, Rumba. No long thing. Rumba is the moment where the wife and the husband get to catch up. It's also where, if you are single, this is the moment for you. If you are at a Congolese wedding, Rumba, you feel that single lady, call her, invite her, she can't say no. Tradition. Because you start dancing, so hi, I've noticed the way you're eating up for food is very fast. You need someone to slow you down. This is during the dance, huh? Oh, you're a charmer. I've been watching you too. You're a size 34. Me, I work in Moss Bros, you know. These are conversations happening. Wife and husband. Hey, babes. Hey, after 10 years, you're still making that. Madesu in a way that, oh, stop it. You know, man.
This is the catch-up
Maybe
moment.
it's time we added another child. Oh, but it's the catch-up. Then there's a moment where the music gets faster. That's the moment where it's like, yeah, let's go.
Everybody throws it down.
And during that moment, you'll see 25 different dances, routines. You think, did these people rehearse? Because the way we approach music is in our blood to a level where we feel the beat, the dance is created there and then, and everybody gets it, we keep going.
Wow.
You know, so you can't say that when you're looking at Afrobeats, you know, that, you know, Congolese music, and people need to stop that. I think I'm very much immersed into the Nigerian culture, the Ghanaian culture, very much so. So I can speak on both sides. We just need to stop that. We're doing ourselves a disservice when we go, oh no, our music is better than yours. What do you know about? Let's stop that, because you have to ask yourself, in 2000 year 2000, 1998, what was you dancing to? What was the dance?
It was Awilo Longomba.
Thank you very much.
The biggest music in Nigeria between 1990 and year 2000 was straight out of Congo. The biggest superstar in Nigeria was Awilo Longomba. Facts.
So when you go across Africa, when you go to East Africa, they'll tell you about Kofi Olomide.
Facts.
They'll tell you about Zaiko Langa Langa. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? They'll tell you about Ndombolo, what they call Lingala music. You understand what I'm saying to you? They'll tell you about Chakudi Bondas, Kachu. They'll tell you about all these dances. So when I watch people dance, I look and I go, I know that dance. I've seen that dance. Yeah, I know this dance. And it's beautiful, but it's beautiful. But I only remember that, oh, this is us when people come and challenge me. At that moment in time, I'm enjoying it because we're all Africans, we're having a great time. But let's not deny history to ourselves.
Facts.
Let's tell history properly.
Facts.
Let's tell history properly.
Thank you very much. That was why I wanted to ask you that. Now, finally, the last year has been about Zoom, Clubhouse, and House Party. Now, basically, apps that have allowed people to continue relationships from business to personal without being together. Now, most of us really got used to these apps because we were forced to use them, and a few people learned their lessons early on, with people forgetting. Others were looking whilst they farted. went to the loo, and in extreme cases, naked whilst chatting to their teams during the meeting. Now, well, the latest person to reveal his embarrassment with Zoom was British Nigerian actor and Snowfalls, or is it Snowflakes or whatever star? Snowfall star Damson Idris, who said on Good Morning America that legendary rapper Jay-Z called him out whilst showing up topless on a Zoom birthday party. Now, he jumped on Zoom shirtless, not knowing there were 40 others on the call.
My guy, Damson.
Which included a list of celebrities such as Jay-Z, who eventually said something about Damson's nipples out in the open and asked him to either put a shirt on it or just leave the chat. My brother, Zoom has taken over our lives. What embarrassment have you felt or not felt with this new way of life?
Jay-Z, you as well, pointing out our boy's nipple. Leave them. Leave them. Focus on Beyonce. Leave the boy's nipple alone. Damson got excited. I mean, who goes on Zoom topless?
Yeah, because you
For
forgot
4 people.
that is visual.
He said there was 4 people.
Yeah, but he forgot that it was visual.
Oh, so he thought the camera was off?
Yeah, so he thought the camera
was
was
chilling.
off. He turned it on. He was just chilling, and he was just talking, and everybody was they were responding.
The names that are in there as well.
He heard the Jay-Z voice to say,
Because if Jay-Z's there, that means Meek is there.
everybody's there. Meek is there. Everybody's there. Over 40 people.
So when he realized that, but you know,
and then he said he covered it out.
I'm not going to lie to you. Once again, Shopsy, I know, I'm not going to lie to Shopsy. This is not our issue. This is elite problems. Do you understand? I would love to tell the story of Jay-Z cast my nipple on the Zoom call. Do you know how I've made it from Peckham to Jay-Z casting your nipple? What?
Life has changed.
I have no opinion.
Life has changed.
That's like, I have no opinion. Jay-Z will remember that's the boy, even if he doesn't watch Snowfall, that's the boy with the nipples.
Absolutely.
Yo, man, at my next video, I want to get the boy with the nipples.
What about your brothers that won the Golden Globes, John Boyega and
Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya.
What a guy. These special human beings, bro. Yo, listen, I first met Daniel on a set of sketches. One of my friends called Jason Lewis used to do sketches. Back in the days before the whole YouTube and the Instagram blew, Jason, extremely talented, was doing stand-up and, you know, really making an effort to do these sketches. And this might have been, if I stand corrected, probably 2008-7 era. And Daniel was just a quiet guy, focused. We were somewhere in West London just filming some stuff. And then I just knew from then. And then through my Adidas family, Akuya and Paola, I would see Daniel. And of course, Daniel would, you know, later see him on Skins and being one of the writers. Just, he's a quiet guy, Ugandan brother, lovely but focused. He wasn't on hype. You could tell the results of what you're seeing now is somebody who was honed in on his skills. He really focused, bro. So when you're seeing him now winning these Golden Globes and Critics' Choice Awards, bro, it's because the guy deserves it. The guy's putting the work, and there's more to come. I sat down with him one time, and this is probably during the Black Panther times, I think. And you know, I don't get to see him like that. When we bump into each other, a quick conversation, my brother, how are you? And he said to me, he really wants to be intentional with the films that he makes. He wants it to represent his people. Damn. And he said in the interview at Black Panther, he said the films that he does, he wants his friends to go, wow, we're learning from this and feel empowered. That's why you see the succession of films that he's made.
Judas and Black Messiah,
there you go.
all of those
Come on,
things.
man, these are serious films. So, and he puts the work behind that. Power. John Boyega, loves his work. Look, like I said, it's just a beautiful thing to now. It's not about being, they're Africans or they're Black British. These are talented boys, talented men, talented women, ladies, girls.
From the ends, gone to the top.
Gone to the top. Now, they happen to be African. So that's where we now come in and go, you see, everything is possible. This victimization, this just looking at this is what a blackness looks like, needs to stop. Because then they're talking about, you know what, why are we using these Black British guys to do American accent, but they've gone to prove that we are black, my brother.
Facts.
We're black.
Well won.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Because when our brother, I forgot his name, did Idi Amin, you know, acted as Idi Amin.
The other guy.
You know, well, I forgot his name.
Forrest
Whitaker, bad boy.
yeah.
I've just seen him at the Godfather of Harlem, I believe. Sick, it's just an amazing series. And he's an amazing actor. I watched it from when I was a kid. He did Idi Amin, Last King of Scotland.
And nobody complained.
Smashed it, though. It was beautiful. He's an
Denzel
actor.
Washington did Steve Biko.
It's called acting. Now, something people will say, but you have to feel the pain that we went. But bro, let me tell you something. If someone is acting as a serial killer, if it's about method acting, if he had to feel that pain, we have to suspect him.
We have to
How come he
arrest
did
him.
this guy?
We have to investigate him a little bit.
Thank you.
deeper.
But it's called acting. You win an award by being so far removed from the situation, but you still was able to master
translate
it. To translate a convey and the message hits home. So that's once again comes to that what? Self-hatred. When they asked Daniel about that question, Daniel said,
He was amazing.
Listen,
that answer was the best I've heard.
he said, I want to
in
talk to them.
years.
I want to talk to I listen to them. I let them know I mean
Best
no harm.
answer I've heard.
If you don't want me to be a part of it, that's cool. I'll keep going my business. But
I'm
I mean
willing
no
to listen.
harm. I'm willing to have that conversation. That's what it comes down
That
to.
changed my perception too.
That's why I still big up my brother Antene Disu and my boy Luel Deng, and a few others that were involved. My friend Akuya and Nadu. We set up an organization called Pan-Afro Link.
Yep.
And that Pan-Afro Link has been able to serve that platform for conversation. And funny enough, we had the Damson Idrises that have passed through to talk about their experience. It's about listening to each other's stories, whether you're Caribbean, whether you're from the motherland, whether you're from Belize. Just what's your story and let's meet each other halfway. I might not have the solution because I've not walked a day in your shoe, but I'm able to understand you. So when I approach you, I'm approaching from that point of view. That's what's important. But big shout out to my brothers, man, because there's more coming. There's great acts that are coming through, from ends, from the continent, and they'll keep rising, man. The future's bright, my brother.
Simple. Well, that wraps up this episode's Audiomack Live, the official Afrobeats podcast. New things that I'll suggest to the people this week. You could go check out the EP by the young Jonesing World Mavens artist, Ruga. Incredible work. Do you have anything you'd like to suggest to people to check out? Music, film, fashion, anything?
Just check out your family, man. Check out your family. These are not the times to muck about. Check out your family. You know what? I feel grateful every time I speak to my family because it's crazy. And I don't mean to kind of disrespect anyone else's family, but I've looked at my entire family and no one picked up COVID during this period. I didn't wake up in the middle of the night where there was a panic of so-and-so is stuck in hospital because of, you understand what I'm saying to you? That is a blessing during this time, right? So, and then there's people that, I passed away. Rest in peace, my boy Samuel Mensah, who was a beautiful being. I got to spend the last days of his life with him, but he's left an amazing legacy. He was always good to me. But we were there in Ghana, and the next minute he was gone. Those are the kind of things that make you realize, life is not just for us, and we have to check on our people. Because you don't know what people are going through. It's not just about COVID. COVID has given birth to a lot of issues in people's lives. So let's check on our families, man.
Check on our family. Words spoken by a genius, the incredible Eddie Cardi. Thank you very much for joining us. Catch us same place, same time next week from Shop Sidu and Eddie Cardi is peace.
Did you book your flight? Have you booked your flight already for July?
No, I haven't booked it yet.
Okay. Me, I'm not playing games.
Have you booked it already?
You're saying check on your. I checked on Opodo.
You booked it
I checked on Opodo.
How long are you going to be
I
out there
checked
for?
on my brother. You want to talk about everything online? Freedom of speech.
July
Freedom of speech
is the time. Get your tickets. It's about to be a madness. Peace, and I'm out.